Hi there, this is Tim from Race Sim Central, and this is going to be a big one. This is Soda Off-Road Racing, at one point called Gripped Off-Road Racing before it acquired the Soda licensing. And there's a lot of misconceptions about this that I've had corrected for me by the main developer of this software. First of all, I'm going to have a look at this Sierra All-American Sports Series box. This is the original one that I had, and it doesn't include the full manual that the second unboxing box actually has. Obviously, you can see the Rendition Ready logo there. You can see the Software Allies logo. And obviously, go back, pause, read any of that text that you want to, but we're going to get into this here and see that there's actually not much inside there. And I don't actually know offhand whether this came with a manual. It does have one inside the CD that I'll show you in a moment. But here's the All-American packages. There was a really huge package which actually had all of these titles in it. There was one listed on eBay not too long ago for $500, which I thought about buying and then didn't. But anyway, here's the CD. One thing that I find interesting is that you do not see the Papyrus logo on this box or on this CD or anything. And what I found out from the developer is that it was actually originally Papyrus that funded this software, not Sierra. It was already in progress, there was already a contract, and Sierra took over the payments, but this was a Papyrus deal. It wasn't it wasn't originally a Sierra deal. One thing that is extremely common is for people to think that this was some sort of test bed for Grand Prix Legends. And I've had it confirmed again from the from Sean Nash, the main developer, and he says there is no code from this in Grand Prix Legends or vice versa. At no point was this anything to do with Grand Prix Legends, and he was quite humble and said that Papyrus were well ahead of where he was at this point. The only regret that he seemed to express about Soda Off-Road Racing was that when Papyrus offered to help, he turned them down, which he says resulted in him working from getting out of bed in the morning until he went to bed at night for 2 years. So I'm going to unbox this unopened one here. First time it's ever been opened, so obviously everything that's inside it is as it was. There's your minimum specifications. So you'll notice this does not have the Rendition logo. It does have the Papyrus logo. Obviously there's a fair bit to look at on this box, and I don't think many people have actually seen this box, so I'm going to take my time, make sure that you're not getting too much of that annoying light that's right there. You can obviously pause and you can have a look here. I personally think that Soda still feels good. If you get it running and you hook up a wheel, It's really, really quite impressive. It still feels good. You can still sense what the cars are doing. Um, it's really, really impressive. And the fact that it had modding support, you could build tracks. It really it's it's a pretty groundbreaking title. Um, in different ways, I would say it's as groundbreaking as Grand Prix Legends was that came after it. It's so maybe it deserved a little bit of that. The assumption that it had something to do with Grand Prix Legends, but no, I feel like this title should stand on its own merits and be recognized for what it was, which is an extremely impressive racing sim. So we've seen this before. This is the same registration card you'll find in other Sierra products. I think IndyCar Racing 2 or Kart Racing, which was the re-release of IndyCar Racing 2, had the same product registration card. Obviously, as not many people have this manual, I'm going to take you through it page by page, unless it gets where it's not really applicable anymore, and then I'll just skip over a few pages where that happens. So here's the contents. It's going to have an installation guide, driver's guide, driving guide, track designer guide, and technical support. Obviously, Windows 95 was the operating system of choice when this was released in 1997. It did support keys, but I don't think I ever used this product with keys. I think I only ever used it with the steering wheel. There's the three cars that were in the software. Although they're based on real cars, there was no licensing. It's the basic driving controls for keys. There was a pretty good replay system in this, and the intro for the game is actually 3 different replays, which will load up and loop until you exit the intro, essentially. And one of the major things about this title is how much the developer seemed to want to focus on sharing and sending replays to a friend, sending tracks that you've built to a friend. Obviously, what's interesting there is the tire data. You can see in plain terms exactly what you're going to get out of each type of tire. Setup adjustments and very good explanations of each type. Some good driving tips. I never played multiplayer with Soda, but obviously it did have support for it. And frame rate tips, which I think is really great on how it's giving specific technical information about page faults, like when you're out of memory and how to use less memory, like specific examples. Oh, and this is fantastic. This is the track designer. And just look at those screenshots. Look how fantastic that actually is and how easy it actually looks to do something that's that complex. and all of this technical information just freely available, which, I mean, 1997, I think, apart from paint utilities where you could change the skin on your car, I think this is the first openly supportive mod title. I can't think of anything else before this. But the actual developer provided a tool for you to be able to modify it. And definitely not as much as creating actual tracks and sharing them. It really is absolutely fantastic. Positioning of cameras even, so that you can make sure that your track is shown how you would want it to be. And then obviously you would generate the track. It would do it for you after you'd built it. And then there's a whole page here on exchanging tracks. This is what the developer wanted to happen. Is he wanted you to build tracks. He wanted you to share them with your friends. And I think that's just so fantastic. We're into the technical support now. And there's going to be a few names I recognize in the back here. So Sean Nash works for iRacing. He is actually the reason why you drive on a low-resolution point cloud, rather than just a traced Vince Lombardi, really, for the radio voice. Huh. Okay. Anyway, so both Scott Nash and Sean Nash work for iRacing. You can see over on the right-hand side, you can see Nim Cross Jr., who obviously works for iRacing. Steve Vandergriff did all of the manuals for the Papyrus titles. Yeah, so I think that Sean Nash doesn't get enough credit. It's similar to Terence Groening from ISI. It's a real shame. This wasn't a Grand Prix Legends testbed. It just wasn't, and I think it deserves to stand on its own as what it was. The first party support modding. I'm going to start going through this Prima official strategy guide, which I don't think a lot of people probably have either. It's quite extensive, but a lot of the information that's in this is covered in the manual, just in maybe a little less detail. It seems like the developer actually helped them quite a bit with this. But yeah, I definitely think that he doesn't get enough recognition for his impact on sim racing, and that even the fact that it was him and Software Allies as a studio that was under contract to Papyrus, doing the NVIDIA graphics card support for NASCAR Racing 2. a lot of the things that we've seen and we've enjoyed and we've grown with are down to Sean Nash, and there's not many people in the industry that you can really say that about. Like I said, similar to Terence Groening, who was with ISI all the way from Sports Car GT. It's and in my opinion, it is a genius. I fully believe, who anybody would be lucky to have, and I strongly put Sean Nash within the same bracket. Before he figured out how to use a lower resolution point cloud as the physical driving surface in iRacing, it was just being used to trace the geometry. So basically, you would have the right camber of turns and things like that, but you wouldn't feel the individual actual scanned bumps. And basically, him figuring out how to do that helped obviously propel sim racing forward, and it kept iRacing at the top of the track quality list for a very, very long time until others started using laser scanning as well, which did take a number of years for other people to really start to pay attention and to do that, and some still don't. So anyway, like I said, a lot of this has been covered in the manual, perhaps with less detail, but it's still a very nice book to have that I'm sure not many people actually have. If I can't find a scan of this online anywhere, I will go through the process of scanning this and uploading it to Racing Central at some point. If you go to the files link in the menu, you can see all of the available downloads for each simulation at racingcentral.net. This is quite nice. This tells you in quite nice detail exactly what adjusting the AI setting actually does, which is something that I think is missing from modern simulations that have AI, is they don't tell you exactly what it does. Like, does upping this number make them more aggressive as well or not? Does it just make them faster? How does it make them faster? It's I really would like to see that level of explanation in some modern sims, because it's just not there. Here's some tuning and kind of upgrade options. The actual theory of friction. In case any of you were unaware of that, it's there in plain text for you. Not that I understand it all. I like how it's listed the priorities for a good setup there, and it's obviously saying that the first step in developing a good setup is to learn the track. It's nothing to do with the setup. The fastest guys around could use the worst setup ever and still be faster than most of us. It's just how it is. The setup doesn't make the difference. It's track knowledge that really makes the difference. These are our track profiles, which I do recall the tracks actually being quite good there was a lot of variation. Lots of them had really good elevation changes. Probably going to skip through a few of these a little bit. Extremely detailed, all of these track profiles. Okay, I honestly I think this game guide was a fairly good buy. Like if you actually took the time to read this stuff, I think it definitely would help you get the most out of the software. Talking about online play here, and the heading, they aren't computers. Humans are faster, but make more mistakes. Yep. So there's some basic information on how soda came about in here. As far as I'm aware, Software Allies was mostly Sean Nash for most of the development. His brother, Scott Nash, also works at iRacing as well. Or did the last thing I knew. Sean definitely still works there, because I emailed him yesterday to clarify some information. Here's some good information on the series and the sanctioning body, the classes of racing that they actually have. Like, I know nothing about this type of racing at all. These are basically what looks like setup sheets. Practice. I think we're going to get some track records here. So this is as fast as they went. It's kind of a nice way to end the guide here, is to give you something to shoot for. So yeah, that's Soda Off-Road Racing. Yeah, thank you to Sean Nash for answering a few of my questions, and thanks to him for obviously making his mark in sim racing. And thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe, like the video, or unlike it if you didn't like it, and be aware that I'll be posting a lot more of these. I have a lot of big box games and sims to get unboxed. Thanks, bye.